everyone, my name is Reggie and welcome to my channel. Today I'm really excited to be sharing with you my July TBR. So these are all of the books that I hope to read in the month of July. In the month of June, I did a really fun TBR. My husband picks my TBR and I read most of the books on that TBR, plus a few others, which you'll see in my June wrap up. But some of those books and just some of the books in general that I started, I didn't finish. So I'm actually currently reading, or I've started 5 books, which is kind of the makings of a slump. I'm hoping to get through that, read those 5 books because they're all books I'm really excited about, and read another 5 books. So there are 10 books on this TBR, but I've already started 5 of them. So that's good. We'll start with those. But before we do that, if you're new to my channel and you haven't done so already, I really recommend subscribing to this channel because I post new bookish related videos every week. So I'm going to start by sharing with you the 5 books that I'm kind of in the middle of or have started in one way or another. First up, we have Wayfarer by Alexandra Bracken. This is the sequel to Passenger by Alexandra Bracken. Passenger, if you do not know, follows a girl named Etta who is 16 and from a time traveling family. She actually doesn't know she's from a time traveling family though until she in fact time travels. And in doing so, she is kind of thrust into a scavenger hunt where she has to find clues to kind of save her mom and get back to her current time. This is the conclusion to the series. It's a duology and I loved the first book, was super excited when it came out, bought this book. I don't buy books too often. I tend to get them from my library, or at least new books right at release. I tend to get them from the library, but I bought this right away and I never read it for some silly reason. So I'm finally reading it. I'm halfway, maybe 60% of the way through, and I'm enjoying it so far. So fingers crossed that I like the rest. Another book that I'm in the middle of is Definitions of Indefinable Things by Whitney Taylor. This was one of the books that Manny selected for the Husband Picks My June TBR challenge. I did not finish it, but I'm still super excited to read it and finish it, so I will be doing that in the month of July. This story basically follows 2 teenagers who meet and kind of have a romance. They meet and they kind of bond over their depression. Another book I am in the middle of is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. I'm 150 pages into this book, I would say, but it is a pretty hefty book, so I have a ways to go still. And I'm loving this so far, so I really just am super excited to finally finish this because it's been on my list since it came out. I've been hyped for it since before it came out, and I really just need to read it. Is A Reaper at the Gates by Sabaa Tahir. This is the 3rd book in the Torch Against No, the Ember and the Ashes series. This is a fantasy series set in Roman-inspired world, and it's so good. I love it so much. Highly recommend it. I started this one. I'm listening to it as an audiobook. I'm about an hour in, so not super far into this one, but I have started it. And the last book that I am in the middle of is one that I've been in the middle of for a hot minute. I literally haven't picked it up since I last read it, but I really want to, and it has nothing to do with the book being bad or anything. The book is great so far. I love it, but I just prioritizing other things over it, and that is The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertalli. I'm about halfway through this one as well, I would say, and I read all of that in one sitting, so I just need to sit down and read it again, and I'll probably finish it quickly. Just gotta do it. So like I said, when you start a book, at least for me, when I start a couple books, it's not a big deal. If I have 3 going at once, that's anywhere from 1 to 3 going at once is pretty standard for me, but when I get above that, it's when I start getting worried that I'm going to get into a reading slump. And this year has not been a very productive reading year in general, so I definitely am hoping I can power through those, kick the slump, fight the slump, and read a lot this month to kind of get back on track for the reading goal of the year. Because I am halfway through approximately all of those books, I am adding 5 more to my TBR that I just really want to read. The first is The Nowhere Girls by Amy Reed. This has been on a couple TBRs of mine before just because I want to read this so bad. It sounds like my kind of book. It's basically about a group of girls who I think become a support group for victims of rape and sexual assault. I think that's what this book is about, but every time I hear someone describe this book or read the synopsis, I'm sucked in, and I know this is my kind of book, so I'm really excited to read it. Hope I love it. We also have Only Human by Sylvia Nouvelle. This is the 3rd book in the Themis file. This is top 3 favorite series, and I'm hoping this finale does not disappoint, and I love the first 2 books so much, so I have high hopes for this one. I do read these as audiobooks. It's been hard for me to get my hands on a copy of this 3rd audiobook. Next up, I want to read Solitaire by Alice Oseman. Alice Oseman is the author of Radio Silence, which is a very popular book amongst some people that I really love and trust their bookish opinions on. So I've always wanted to read her books. However, this is the book I'm planning on reading first because she has a webcomic that she writes that is currently having a Kickstarter, that if you like support the Kickstarter, you'll get some kind of reward, because that's how Kickstarters work. But essentially the characters in that are side characters in this, so I want to read this so I don't spoil myself for this when I read the webcomic. I plan on reading The Way I Used to Be. This is a book that I've heard a lot about. It's been on my TBR for a long time, but then Emma Books recently was talking about her reading experience while reading this book, and I just was like, yeah, I need that. It's going to be a hard book to read. It's dark. It's about a girl who gets raped, and it's progresses her entire journey through high school. And the last book I plan on reading in the month of July is The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken. This is one of my favorite series of all time. The book is being adapted into a movie in August, I believe, so I want to reread the book. I actually want to reread the entire series. I'm only putting the first book on my TBR for this month. Hopefully in August I'll read the rest. Essentially the entire series is on my summer seasonal series TBR. I will be planning on reading all of the books in the series, including the bind up novellas and the new book that's coming out at the end of August or end of July. So that is all for my July TBR. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. You should also comment down below and let me know if you've read any of these books, what you thought of them, which one I should prioritize and start first. I'm planning on reading like the books I'm in the middle of first to finish them up, get that sense of accomplishment, and also not just leave them sitting. But still, which should I prioritize? Let me know. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye!